special session of the Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, is just hours away. Could this be that mega turning point in the big elections to 2024? What does the government had on its mind? And what about the India Alliance bloc? Are they ready to counter what the government says? We do not know what's really on the agenda apart from the 4 bills that the government already has outlined as a matter of business. But then right now, even as we are speaking, there is an all-party meeting underway in the national capital. We'll cut across to our team of reporters helping you understand the significance of this upcoming session in just a moment. But first up, as always, the headlines we begin the show with.
योजना में 18 अलग अलग तरह का काम करने वाले विश्वकर्मा साथियों पर फोकस किया गया है। पीएम विश्वकर्मा योजना पर सरकार अभी 13,000 करोड़ रुपए खर्च करने वाली है।
In a mega development push, the Prime Minister inaugurates the Yashobhoomi Convention Centre.
हमारे ये विश्वकर्मा साथी जिनके बिना रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी की कल्पना भी मुश्किल है, इनकी अहमियत कभी खत्म नहीं हो सकती।
The Prime Minister honors artisans and craftspeople from across the country. He's also launched the all-important and the ambitious Vishwakarma scheme.
ये भारत के लोकल प्रोडक्ट को ग्लोबल बनाने में बहुत बड़ी भूमिका निभाएगा।
The Prime Minister reiterating the vocal for local message. He says it's time to take local to a global platform now. Just a day ahead of the special parliament session, there is an all-party meeting that is underway in the national capital. So we are just hours away from the big special session of the Parliament. As the convention is, there is an all-party meeting that has been convened, and we are looking at a number of opposition leaders also in attendance right now. I think there is a live reaction also coming in. So first up, let's quickly dip across to listen in to what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress is saying.
महंगाई, ये हमारे चाइना बॉर्डर पे जो चीनी फौजों की जो अतिक्रमण हुए, अदानी साहब के मुद्दे, मणिपुर की हालात, जम्मू कश्मीर की आज की स्थिति, सारे चीज़ों पे सरकार ध्यान दे और जो हमारे जो सांप्रदायिक दंगा जो हो रहे हैं हमारे देश की कोई स्टेटों में, इसके बारे में सरकार संज्ञान में लाए। और हमारे ज़्यादातर जो पार्टियां हैं, विपक्ष, सारे पार्टियां की एक ही मांग थी कि भाई वुमेन्स रिजर्वेशन बिल इस सदन में पारित किया जाए। ये शुभ अवसर पर वुमेन रिजर्वेशन बिल को पारित करके सरकार नए सदन की शुरुआत करे, ये भी मुद्दा रखे गए हैं। फिर भी चर्चा
So the sense that one gets after listening into what the Congress is saying, that this possibly could also be a session that's going to be loaded with fireworks apart from the usual suspense right now that the government is wanting to maintain. We'll also quickly connect with Harsha, who's going to join us live. Our colleague Abhishek also with us here in our studios. The focus is on the all-party meeting right now that is being held in the national capital. It possibly could be on its fag end. Now, what really has been discussed, what has been spoken on? We just heard Congress's Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary there saying that the centre has briefed us on the all-important upcoming special session of the Parliament. He does reiterate issues of China, issues of Adani that he said the Congress would want to talk about. Also the new violence, the violence in Manipur is what the Congress underscores. But what is it that the government has on its mind? I want to get in Abhishek on that question, Abhishek, a lot of our viewers have been asking us this, that is this just going to be limited to the 4 bills that the government has listed, or there is, Abhishek, going to be more?
Well, so we know those 4 bills, Deepti, number 1. Number 2, we know that the government wants a discussion in the old parliament building about the contributions of that building as a legacy to India's democracy, to how it has strengthened it, how it contributed to the vibrancy of India's democracy, and the debates that took place there, the discussion that took place there. So that's another mind of the government we know. Apart from that, the government has not said anything. But then if you look at what's coming out of the opposition camp, you have Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary saying we will raise the issue of Adani, we will raise the issue of Mengai, we will raise the issue of essentially everything that they already did in monsoon session, almost everything that they did in the budget session. So I think opposition agenda is clear. The government has made it clear that there is as of now nothing else except for marking this 5-day special session as one dedicated to charting out a roadmap to 2047. Now, whether this includes some special bills or is it just about a discussion and maybe a resolution on Panch Pran that Prime Minister says are going to contribute to decolonizing India's mind and ultimately India that is Bharat's destiny. And on that note, perhaps that's one possibility where an amendment might be moved to change Article 1 from India that is Bharat to Bharat that is India.
Okay, so, I think a lot of people have been saying, Abhishek, that the media is only indulging in a lot of kite flying. The BJP says we haven't said anything, it's you as in the media who's passing on all these rumors, so-called rumors, and that's the reason why the opposition is so riled up. But knowing the government, Abhishek, a special session of the parliament that has been called right after the monsoon session, that's not just for a single day, it's for 5 long days. No question is happening. There is a whip that already has been issued. And let's not forget, you have the all-important winter elections. There's a big battle of 2024. There has been a lot of murmur, Abhishek, of one nation, one election, of the Uniform Civil Code, the Women Reservation Bill, the Rohini Commission report. Now, could this really find any movement in this upcoming special session of the parliament, or we really do not know what the government could be doing?
I would say big zero. Now, let's cut the speculation one by one. So, one nation, one poll. Former President Ramnath Kovind, who's chairing the committee, yesterday said that the first meeting is going to take place on September 23rd. So, obviously, it's not coming because the committee is already seized of the matter. Similarly, for the Uniform Civil Code, the government has said that there is already a committee looking into it. In fact, I have it from sources that the UCC is going to be first rolled out in the state of Uttarakhand, then possibly Gujarat, and then they'll see how it works out, and then possibly rest of the BJP states, and then maybe if 10 states of the country have it, center can have a model uniform civil code or something, because remember already Goa has it. So that's how the uniform civil code is ruled out. When it comes to women's reservation, again, it's something which has been talked about for 25 years, and if it's talked for one more year, it's not going to harm any side. But then if it is brought in, it would end many careers, and that's why perhaps there is a lot of resistance against the women's reservation bill, mind you, even within the BJP. So ruled out. What's left then, Deepti? I mean, the UCC is ruled out, the women's reservation bill is ruled out, the one nation, one poll is ruled out. What's left? No speculation. I think we're just focusing on 2047 roadmap.
Rohini Commission report is interesting because, the INDA Alliance bloc, Abhishek, is seriously looking at a caste census. The government, after this Rohini Commission actually got a number of extensions. It's finally submitted its report to the president. Now, could that again form the basis of another big political firestorm leading up to the big battle of 2024?
Well, obviously, caste census is center stage so far as opposition is concerned. And remember the resolution of the CWC, the Congress Working Committee yesterday, where they really upped the ante insofar as reservations go, calling for increase in the upper limit for SC, ST and OBC. It's going to hit the Supreme Court wall perhaps, because there is a ceiling that has been put by the Supreme Court and not by the legislature or the executive. But then caste census per se is a matter of the executive, Deepti. You don't need a legislation for that. So I think even that's not happening.
Okay, interesting. So, Abhishek is sitting here, he's ticking off everything. He's saying this is not happening, this is not happening. And knowing the government, you can't afford a second guess, Abhishek. But what we'll do is we'll quickly make way to a few reactions we've got earlier from these opposition leaders who are calling themselves an INDA Alliance bloc. And we'll have to see how prepared they are. Because They've been saying the government is not talking to us, the government is authoritative, but like you just spoke, you have had a CWC resolution talking about caste census. Are they together when it comes to caste census? The answer is no. Are they together when it comes to the women reservation bill? The answer again is a no. So what is the I&A Alliance bloc wanting to do? Let's quickly listen into a few reactions and then we carry forward this conversation.
This is the first time there is no law in this country without an agenda, a parliament has been called. So this is very unfortunate. I think no, in democracy, we already celebrated our democracy, the largest democracy which India has. Now we are not following it.
जहां तक कांग्रेस का सवाल है, अगर एक सप्ताह का सत्र बनाया गया है तो ये सोनिया जी का जो पत्र के मुद्दे 9 पॉइंट्स, महंगाई, बेरोजगारी जिस तेजी से बढ़ रही है उस पर चर्चा होनी चाहिए। किसानों के साथ जो धोखा है, खास तौर से एमएसपी को लेकर, उस पर चर्चा होनी चाहिए। मणिपुर जल रहा है, उस पर चर्चा होनी चाहिए। चर्चा अगर करनी है तो अब तो अडानी की रिपोर्ट आ गई, उस पर चर्चा हो जाए। चर्चा अगर करनी ही सप्ताह तो फिर इस बात की चर्चा होनी चाहिए कि किस लिए, कैसे ये परिस्थितियां बनती जा रही हैं कि देश में जाति और धर्म के नाम पर, खास तौर से नूह में जो कुछ हरियाणा में या दूसरे हिस्सों में हो रहा है वो सरकार द्वारा प्रायोजित है। तो हम इन सोनिया जी ने जो पत्र लिखा है, इन 9 मुद्दों को उठाने जा रहे हैं।
महत्वपूर्ण ये है कि संसद का ये विशेष सत्र सरकार ने क्या सोच के बुलाया है, यह आज तक कोई नहीं जानता। लेकिन जब संसद का सत्र आया है तो देश के सामने जो मौजूदा बड़ी चुनौतियां, देश सिर्फ राजा तेरे सुबह की जय, राजा तेरे शाम की जय से नहीं चलेगा। मणिपुर के हालात क्या है, अभी कश्मीर में क्या हुआ। हालांकि उस दिन के विजुअल्स थे कि ये लोग जश्न मना रहे थे अपनी पार्टी के ऑफिस में G20 का। रोजगार को लेकर के कोई ब्लूप्रिंट है? हम तो सरकार से आग्रह करेंगे कि कमिटेड 2 दिन रोजगार पर आप अनुभव मांगिए, लोगों से कहिए कि इस पर क्या किया जा सकता है। इसको आप मंदिर मस्जिद की चादर में मत छुपाइए, कुछ नहीं चलेगा। रोजगार, महंगाई को लेकर के एक मैकेनिज्म विस्तृत कीजिए। फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर पर जो लगातार आप हमले कर रहे हैं उसकी बात करिए। और हाँ, प्रधानमंत्री जी, पिछड़ों को सिर्फ लोक लुभावन नारे नहीं चाहिए, उनको जातिगत जनगणना चाहिए।
अगर नया संसद भवन बना है, जो बना है, तो उसमें कोई गलत बात नहीं है कि झंडा फहराएं। संसद में क्या होने वाला है वो तो उसके बारे में तो हम तभी कुछ कह पाएंगे जब प्रस्ताव पेश होगा। इस समय कोई अफवाहें के आधार पे हम तो कुछ टिप्पणी नहीं कर सकते और करना भी नहीं चाहिए। मुझे नहीं मालूम अचानक क्या पेश करेंगे क्या नहीं करेंगे। जब तक प्रस्ताव नहीं सामने आएगा तब तक टिप्पणी करने का क्या फायदा। लेकिन पहले जो स्पेशल सेशन जो भी होते थे, तो जब स्पेशल सेशन का ऐलान होता था तभी कह दिया जाता था कि एजेंडा क्या है। इसमें तो टीवी पे बहस चली, बड़ी बहसें चली और कहा कि आप एजेंडा क्यों नहीं लाए। उन्होंने कहा कि आप इंतज़ार कीजिए, मिल जाएगा एजेंडा। तो ये सब जो राष्ट्रीय जो हमारा मीडिया है ना, उसको इन चीज़ों पे ज़्यादा टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करना चाहिए। मुद्दे जो असली मुद्दे हैं देश के सामने, उसके बारे में बहस हो तो अच्छा रहेगा।
So, string of reactions that we've heard from Pramod Tiwari, Manoj Jha, Kapil Sibal. We've earlier also heard Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. A lot of them, Abhishek, obviously want to indicate that we have no idea. We have no communication from the government, but they say we are ready for surprise and this is our agenda. They say let's have a discussion on unemployment, on inflation, on Manipur, on new violence and a lot of other things. I think that the opposition would want to talk on. Now, considering, Abhishek, that the previous sessions have largely been a washout because of all the kind of uproar you've seen from the opposition in particular. Now, what is the government's intention this time around? Could we see something happening between this evening and the early morning of tomorrow, so that there is a larger consensus on issues that the country needs to be facing as one?
Well, to be fair, and it has to be said, the government could have handled this better, because remember, in a democracy, the opposition has equal right in terms of understanding what's happening. So the kind of secrecy or the kind of silence that has been maintained, apart from that cryptic tweet that came from the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, and then the agenda circulated in terms of the bills that are to come up. Remember, nobody can take away from the government the prerogative of deciding at the last moment also if they have to bring in some important legislation. But having said that, as I said, the information sharing could have been a little better. The kind of speculation that has been flying thick and fast, some of which I busted based on some reasoning, that could have been avoided. And that perhaps has added to the kind of attacks that have come on the government. Of course, the government does not get affected by these attacks, but then the opposition has perhaps no option but to do the kind of things they are doing. Having said that, a special session of parliament is not called for addressing or discussing new violence, for God's sake, or for what happened in Manipur. For that matter, did you let the House be in order to discuss Manipur? The Home Minister stood on the floor of the House and said, let me speak. The Home Minister wrote to the leader of the opposition in both the houses to let him speak, but then that was not allowed. So obviously the opposition also is being a little economical with truth when it comes to what should be discussed in this special session. But as I said, whatever sense we are getting, this is more like a forward-looking session. Of course, for the transition between the old Parliament building and the new one, and to use this occasion to really, mark out as an archive of history by proceedings on the contribution of the old Parliament building to India's democracy and its vibrancy. And then, of course, the transition to the new one. I'm told Prime Minister, when he makes that entry in the new Parliament building, perhaps would be carrying a copy of the Constitution of India. Many of the symbolisms that you would see happening to mark the occasion of that transition from the old to the new.
Interesting. And one of our viewers, Abhishek, has actually asked us this question, that could we see one new bill every day? So you never know. People are also so involved in what this special session of the Parliament is going to be entailing. Could we be looking at early elections? Could that happen? Could we be on the way of one nation, one election, Abhishek? Before you answer that question, there's also a reaction that has just come in from Congress's Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary on what he believes should be the agenda, what should be the conversation on all about. And as always, he's complaining, but we are playing out exactly what he said.
सबसे पहले बात ये तो हमें तो ये लगता था कि ये स्पेशल सेशन हो रहे हैं, कोई नए मुद्दे पे कोई बड़ा चमत्कार होने वाला है, लेकिन अभी तो ये लगता है कि जैसे कि नॉर्मल सेशन, रेगुलर सेशन जैसे होते हैं वैसे ही ये 3 बिल का जिक्र किए हैं। बाद में कहते कि और 2-4 आइटम आने वाला है। तो सरकार की जो रवैया, इस रवैया से हम जितने विपक्ष है, ये विपक्ष को सरकार की क्या मुद्दा और सरकार सदन चलाने के लिए क्यों ये बेमौसम सदन को बुलाए, इस विषय को लेकर हमें भी थोड़ा भ्रम तो जरूर थी, लेकिन धीरे धीरे ये सरकार को जो रुख है वो हमें पता होते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी हमें ये जानकारी नहीं है कि अगले दिन और कुछ होने वाला है या नहीं, क्योंकि सरकार की मंशा सरकार खुद जानते हैं। क्योंकि आज ही पता चले कि ये रेगुलर सेशन की तरह ही ये सेशन लाने की और सोच रही है, लेकिन हमें कुछ चीज़ों से वंचित भी किए जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि आप जानते हैं कि हर मेंबर को ये क्वेश्चन आवर और 0 आवर की सुविधा मिलते हैं। तो इस सुविधा से हमें और जितने सारे मेंबर हैं, चाहे सत्ता विपक्ष, दोनों तरफ की मेंबर को ही वंचित होना पड़ेगा, ये तय है। यह नया सदन में हम जाएंगे, पुराना से सरकार ये हमें ऐलान किए हैं और कोई फोटोग्राफी बनेगी और 2-4 बिल भी लाएंगे और ये सदन में कल ही 11 बजे से चर्चा शुरू होने वाला है। हमारे 75 साल गिरे हुए 75 साल की हमारा संविधान सभा की बात को सामने रखते हुए हमें चर्चा भी किया जाएगा कल। तो यही 2-4 मुद्दे हैं।
So the Congress has a lot of things that they say they would want to talk on, whether this is about the women reservation bill, whether this is about Mehengai, whether this is about unemployment, or like what they are saying is the kind of failure of the law and order machinery, particularly in Haryana. Then Manipur is also what they are putting their focus on. The government says we have put out the agenda. There are about 5 bills that the government is intending to get passed in this upcoming special session of the parliament. But knowing the Prime Minister and knowing this BJP under Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, and knowing the fact that we are so close to the all-important big Lok Sabha election of 2024, is this just about these bills or there is more? There is a huge surprise for the opposition and for the country. We do not know, but as always, remember, Republic will be a one-stop destination for everything that you need to know. Our team of reporters, starting tomorrow, is going to be decoding every move that you need to know as far as the big political extravaganza is concerned, and the opposition still believes that the government is not being transparent. We are into a quick break right now, but on the other side, we continue with our focus also on the other big story that continues to garner headlines. This is about what's been happening in Jammu and Kashmir. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is the 5th straight day of the operations that continue in Anantnag. What really is going on? We'll have details of that big operation when we come back. Also, the Prime Minister honors artisans and craftspeople from across the country. He's launched the all-important Vishwakarma Yojana today. Could this also be a game changer as far as the OBC politics of the BJP is concerned? Quick deep dive also onto that story after this very short break.
Unsurprisingly, the most important decision of the I.N.D.I.A. alliance. Now they are starting off by grandly declaring that they will boycott 14 anchors, yours truly included. They think it's a great move. They think this will put pressure on journalists to stop questioning things like the declared intent of many of their leaders to eliminate Hinduism, to eliminate and annihilate Sanatan Dharma and uproot Hindu traditions from the soil of our great nation. I am the one who exposed his intellectual inadequacies. They put me in jail with murderers and rapists and underworld dons, and they tried their best to make me compromise. And I want to say to them today, as they bring out this laughable, ridiculous boycott threat, bring it on. The people of this country are with us, with me. But today the rest of the media, as this emergency mindset emerges again, the rest of the media, especially the Lutyens media, they need to develop a spine, because we know how to hit back when it comes to our endless and indefatigable battle for the truth. Unsurprisingly, the most important decision of the I.N.D.I.A. alliance. Now they are starting off by grandly declaring that they will boycott 14 anchors, yours truly included. They think it's a great move. They think this will put pressure on journalists to stop questioning things like the declared intent of many of their leaders to eliminate Hinduism, to eliminate and annihilate Sanatan Dharma and uproot Hindu traditions from the soil of our great nation. I am the one who exposed his intellectual inadequacies. They put me in jail with murderers and rapists and underworld dons, and they tried their best to make me compromise. And I want to say to them today, as they bring out this laughable, ridiculous boycott threat, bring it on. The people of this country are with us, with me. But today the rest of the media, as this emergency mindset emerges again, the rest of the media, especially the Lutyens media, they need to develop a spine, because we know how to hit back when it comes to our endless and indefatigable battle for the truth. Unsurprisingly, the most important decision of the I.N.D.I.A. alliance, now they are starting off by grandly declaring that they will boycott 14 anchors, yours truly included. They think it's a great move. They think this will put pressure on journalists to stop questioning things like the declared intent of many of their leaders to eliminate Hinduism, to eliminate and annihilate Sanatan Dharma and uproot Hindu traditions from the soil of our great nation. I am the one who exposed his intellectual inadequacies. They put me in jail with murderers and rapists and underworld dons, and they tried their best to make me compromise. And I want to say to them today, as they bring out this laughable, ridiculous boycott threat, bring it on. The people of this country are with us, with me. But today the rest of the media, as this emergency mindset emerges again, the rest of the media, especially the Lutyens media, they need to develop a spine, because we know how to hit back when it comes to our endless and indefatigable battle for the truth. Unsurprisingly, the most important decision of the I.N.D.I.A. alliance, now they are starting off by grandly declaring that they will boycott 14 anchors, yours truly included. They think it's a great move. They think this will put pressure on journalists to stop questioning things like the declared intent of many of their leaders to eliminate Hinduism, to eliminate and annihilate Sanatan Dharma and uproot Hindu traditions from the soil of our great nation. I am the one who exposed his intellectual inadequacies. They put me in jail with murderers and rapists and underworld dons, and they tried their best to make me compromise. And I want to say to them today, as they bring out this laughable, ridiculous boycott threat, bring it on. The people of this country are with us, with me. But today the rest of the media, as this emergency mindset emerges again, the rest of the media, especially the Lutyens media, they need to develop a spine, because we know how to hit back when it comes to our endless and indefatigable battle for the truth.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Viewers, the top headlines we're tracking right now. We are live and breaking. A day ahead of the special parliament session, Centre's all-party meeting gets underway. The Prime Minister inaugurates Yashobhoomi Convention Centre, reiterates vocal for local message. Anti-terror operations continue for the fifth day in Anantnag. Forces use drones to bomb terror hideouts. The battle for 2024 intensifies. OAC now pitches for KCR to form a third front. BJP calls opposition a divided house. And India beat Sri Lanka by 10 wickets to clinch 8th Asia Cup title. Celebrations across the country. Viewers, getting some breaking updates coming in right now, viewers. Getting in some more breaking news coming in as we are live and breaking. Internet services have been suspended in New till 19th of September. This comes days after Congress MLA Maman's arrest in New violence case. So viewers, remember that after the arrest of Congress MLA Maman Khan, we are seeing a big update coming in where we can tell you, viewers, is that the internet services have been suspended in New till 19th of September. And this comes days after the arrest of the Congress MLA Maman Khan. Now, he was arrested in the New violence case, viewers. He was arrested in the New violence case. Haryana Congress MLA Maman Khan was arrested by the state police in connection with the New violence case. Let's go straight to Amandeep is joining us live right now, and Amandeep is getting us top updates. Amandeep, take us through what is really happening. Internet services have been suspended in New till 19th of September. Why is that? Why has the internet services been clamped down in New?
Well, Shivangi, the point is that after the arrest of Congress MLA Maman Khan, there is sensitivity prevailing in New, and in fact, keeping the security and law and order situation in the mind, the state government has decided to suspend the internet services till 19th of September. Just because Maman Khan's police custody has also been extended for 2 days. So in next 2 days, Maman Khan will remain in the police custody for further interrogation and the questioning, just because there is a concrete evidence in the course of investigation with police that Maman Khan was remain present in New just 2 days before the violence. That means from 28th till 30th of July, Maman Khan remained present in the New, and he has given several provoking statements and the provocation activities from the side of Maman Khan. And that is the reason 2 days before he has been arrested by the New police, and in fact today his police custody has been ended, but New judicial court has also extended 2 days police custody. So keeping the entire law and order situation in the view, and even just to avoid any kind of uncertainty, this suspension of internet has been directed by the state government till 19th of September. And in fact today from 6 p.m. The internet has been suspended. All the mobile internet has been suspended, and meanwhile the police security has also beefed up in the New and outside the police station, outside the judicial court, and certain points also, just because a clear-cut direction that the incident that has reported on July 31st, that should not be repeated. And the arrest of Maman Khan is very much crucial in this entire episode, just because he was the one person who has actually released certain kind of provoking statements which led to the clashes in New itself. So now internet has been suspended till 19th of September. The 2 days custody of Maman Khan has been extended by the court to the police, and even further interrogation is very much important of Maman Khan to break down the entire chain of the conspirators. Yes, Shivangi.
All right. Thank you so much, Amandeep, for getting us all the top details coming in. So days after the arrest of Congress MLA Maman Khan, we are seeing that internet services have been suspended in New till 19th of September. Remember that when we saw that violence in New some time back, internet services were suspended. Section 144 was imposed. This time, after the arrest of Congress MLA Maman Khan, he has been arrested in the New violence case. We are seeing once again the internet suspension in the New area.
And viewers, in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag, our forces are going all out. They're continuing their effort to flush out the terrorists. The operation has now entered day 5. The latest development coming in, Republic has learned that heavy shelling was reported at the encounter site, viewers. So getting these details coming in right now, where search operations are also underway, and the encounter has now entered day 5. The latest visuals, which are of course, these are deferred visuals which are coming in, which we are showing you what really is happening there. Day 5 of the Anantnag operation on your screen, the visuals coming in at this point of time. So anti-terror operations are dragging on. It's been more than 100 hours. The entire area has very heavy foliage, and that is making it a little difficult. But the encounter with terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir, Anantnag, has now stretched to the 5th day. And what we see are thousands of troops, including para-commandos. They're locked in an endless gunfight inside the deep forest. Let's go straight to Zenith, who's joining us. Zenith, just take us through what is the current situation. We are showing deferred visuals to our viewers of the gunfight, of the encounter. But how many terrorists are trapped? How many terrorists are there? And any of the details that we're picking up on this?
See, the encounter that has in its 5th day, and as of now, no dead body has been retrieved from the encounter spot. Yesterday also we reported about a dead body that can be seen from the drone, but that has not been recovered. So unless and until the dead body is retrieved, it's very difficult to say whether any civilian was killed, a terrorist was killed, or it's a body of a security personnel. As of now, no retrieval of body has taken place in Gadol encounter, which is taking place in the hills of Kokarnag in Anantnag of South Kashmir. The whole day there was a moment of deployment of forces. The reinforcement was rushed. More and more ammunition and arms were used. Even the shelling was reported. But as of now, nothing has been. We can't say that it was a lucky day for the security forces, as the weather played a spoiled spot in the entire encounter. Again, the weather turned bad. It was an inclement weather which turned the operation more harder and more challenging for the security forces. The visibility has gone quite low due to the rains in the very forest area. As of now, the encounters had entered into its 5th day. Casualty of 2 of Indian Army and 1 to Jammu and Kashmir is the same. As of no development as far as any injury is concerned. There were earlier reports that the 2 people and the 2 soldiers have been injured. Yesterday they were rushed to the hospital for treatment. But we are seeing the technology more being used by the Indian Army with SOG of Anantnag, and also the 1 para, the special forces who deal with the counter-insurgency, the Recce, and also how they are to neutralization of the terrorists, that they are specialized in such operations. They are the part of this Gadol encounter, which has crossed more than 112 hours, and it still continues. It seems that due to the low visibility now, as the sun has gone down, we expect the encounter will resume with the first ray of morning sun. Although the cordon is this entire cordon has been completely tightened, and they're not being allowing any movement as far as the cassos are concerned, that are also going on. Cordon is there, the 3-layer cordon has been put in place so that the terrorists do not escape from the spot. But what is important also here, which is giving an edge to the terrorists, that's why they are able to stretch this encounter for around 5 days, is the kind of the stock of ammunition and the arms that they have, and the place where they are hiding, because they are hiding in a hillock, and it has some 50 to 60 caves that we have been continuously reporting that it has caves, and whenever that the security forces through drones try to destroy this very cave, they try to take cover in the another cave. So definitely it is giving an edge to them, and they are located at an important and strategically very on the heights they are located. So definitely that is giving an edge to the terrorists as far as this encounter is concerned. But we are seeing that the forces are doing everything to neutralize them at the earliest.
All right, thank you, Zita, for getting us all the details coming in. Heavy shelling at the encounter site, and we are seeing that encounter has dragged on for 100 hours, more than 5 days. Now, today is the 5th day. Remember that the entire area is very dense. This is a very dense forest, and these terrorists are trained in high altitude areas. So more than 1,000, I repeat, more than 1,000 troops, including para-commandos, are locked in the gunfight deep inside the dense forest. And we are seeing that our army is trying its best and is continuing its fight against terror. Let's move ahead to the other news we are tracking right now. On the occasion of Prime Minister Modi's birthday, a commuter on the Delhi Metro extended greetings to the former in Sanskrit. The Prime Minister also inaugurated the extension of the Delhi Airport Metro Express line to Yashobhoomi. Here's more.
In what is being touted as one of the world's largest convention centres, the Prime Minister unveiled the Yashobhoomi Convention Centre in Delhi, built at a cost of whopping 5,400 crores. With a magnificent convention centre, multiple exhibition halls and other facilities, Yashobhoomi stands tall in Dwarka.
एडवेंचर टूरिज्म वही होगा जहां एडवेंचर के साधन संसाधन हो। मेडिकल टूरिज्म वही होगा जहां आधुनिक चिकित्सा सुविधाएं हो। इसी तरह कॉन्फ्रेंस टूरिज्म भी वही होगा जहां इवेंट्स के लिए, मीटिंग्स के लिए, एग्जीबिशन के लिए जरूरी साधन संसाधन हो। इसलिए भारत मंडपम और यशोभूमि ये ऐसे सेंटर हैं वो अब दिल्ली को कॉन्फ्रेंस टूरिज्म का सबसे बड़ा हब बनाने जा रहे हैं।
With a total project area of over 8.9 lakh square meters and built-up area of more than 1.8 lakh square meters, Yashobhoomi will find its place among the world's largest MICE facilities. The auditorium has an innovative automated seating system which converts the flat floor into an auditorium-style tiered seating for different seating configurations. The Grand Ballroom can easily host around 2,500 guests with an extended open area with seating capacity of up to 500 people. The 13 meeting rooms that are spread across 8 floors are envisaged to hold a variety of meetings of different scales. PM Modi also inaugurated the extension of the Delhi Metro's airport line, which now terminates at Yashobhoomi, Dwarka station. Before the inauguration, Modi took a metro ride from Dhola Kuan station to the newly built Yashobhoomi, Dwarka Sector 25 metro station. During the ride, many passengers interacted with the Prime Minister and snapped selfies with him.